What up, guys? James from Bolt Bros here. Hey, about 24 hours ago, we watched the Rams preseason game. Fantastic game all around. Just kind of just giving a little bit more time to digest this game. Kind of wanted to give you guys my last thoughts here, so let's just get into it, guys.
Bolt Bros.
Man, it was fun to see that game. I mean, there's so many things about that game that you look at and you're just like, man, it really well for the Chargers all around. Like, I mean, we talked about it in our live on our post game show. We didn't give up 20 points. We only gave up 17. We scored 34. I mean, it's beautiful to watch. Beautiful, beautiful to watch. And all around, I could say is that this is a different looking team. Now, once again, it's preseason. I mean, we're we're overemphasizing preseason games here, but it is a beautiful thing to be able to see like how they played. I mean, offensively, we looked really good. Defensively, we looked aggressive. It just seemed like the system is working right now, and you got to love to see that. So, but one thing I'm just going to say is let's just chat about some of the good and then some of the concerns that I might have about this team. Now, obviously, we'll start with the good. Running back room. I mean, guys, I mean, that was fun to watch, wasn't it? I mean, we haven't seen a run game such as that for, I mean, it's been a long, long time for us. I mean, I can't think of the last time we ran for all rushing yards, 214 yards. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to basically give a shout out to all of the running backs out there. Obviously Elijah Dotson did great. He had an average of 15.3 yards per carry on 6 carries, 92 yards. I mean, that's not going to be sustainable, but the same side, that's huge with 2 touchdowns. Joshua Kelly, 9 carries, 54 yards, 6 yards per carry. Isaiah Spiller, 5 for 27 yards, 5.4. Max Duggan, 4 carries, 20. Now, once again, he's not a running back, but he had 5 yard average. Easton Stick, 2 for 12 yards, 6 yards per carry. Larry Roundtree was at 5 carries for 9 yards at 1.8 yards. So there's a little bit of change there, but I'm going to give a massive shout out to the entire running back team. I mean, the whole squad all around as a team did phenomenal. That is a massive difference from us from what we were doing last year. I mean, now, once again, it's preseason. I get it. I get it. I get it. But that's a really encouraging sign to be able to see a running back room doing extremely well like this. So it's exciting to be able to see a team that we might be able to balance out a little bit of this game versus rely heavily on the pass. We might be able to even rely a little bit on the run. So that's exciting to think about, guys. So I'm just going to give a massive shout out to that. And obviously, Elijah Dotson, he is obviously a guy that you have to keep an eye on at this point. I mean, for what he did and the amount of speed that he had, his ability to be able to get in the outside and move downfield and find a way to be able to get to the end zone is incredible to watch. So I'm excited to be able to see how this continues and how this develops in this running back room. So next, one of the good parts of it, I will say, is the defense. I mean, the defense, in my opinion, from top to bottom, did phenomenal. I mean, once again, I heard some people on Facebook chatting about saying, oh, the back end of the defense didn't do well. I think the defensive line, which I think did extremely well, they got 4 sacks. They basically had, giving up only about 164 passing yards. They were under 100 rush yards total, so 99 yards that we allowed on the rush game. I think we did great. I think the thing is, though, too, like Tooley did great. I mean, he was only in for a very short amount of time in the beginning of the game, but he had 2 extremely close quarterback pressures right then and there, almost to sacks, like almost ding near back to back for him. That's exciting, exciting thing to be able to see that you can see one of your rookies go out there and start making pressures happen and force the quarterback to throw the ball. You see Chris Rump, who basically got a sack. That's great to see. That's an encouraging sign to see that we got depth at the edge here now. It's good to be able to see, Scott Matlock even having more pressures. It's awesome to see CJ Okoye be able to get a sack at the end of the season or end of the game. It's exciting. I think it was Andrew Farmer who got another sack too, I think, in this game too. It's really, really awesome to be able to just see how this defense did as a team. I think they actually looked a lot more of a gelled based defense all around, um, which was great to see. And actually, one other sack out there, shout out to Blake Lynch, too. He also got another sack. So it's very exciting to see. Now, the thing is, though, we as a defense did really well against holding up the pass and holding the rush. That's what you want to see. And that's encouraging to be able to see where this team is going to be for this year. Now, we're not even playing in our starters at all on this. This is, I think there was only maybe Zion and also Jamari. I think we're the only guys suited up starters wise on our O line, which seemed to do pretty well for us for the most part. I think we only gave up 3 sacks in total game. And I think most of those were about when 3.5 quarters were done. Anyway, so encouraging signs all around for this team. But shout out to the defense, top to bottom, did extremely well. Even to say Dan Henley had a couple batted passes too in this game. You know, Dean Leonard and Jasir Taylor did really well. Taiwan Mullen also even had a couple of good plays too. So exciting to be able to see all around. And I love to be able to see this defense continuously grow. Moving on, you know, talking special teams here, guys. I mean, Darius Davis, you know, we got a little different names that we brought up for him. We called him Double D. I was thinking Danger Mouse possibly could be another name for him. We've talked about him. Lightning Bug is another name for him. It's exciting to see what he's done. And, you know, when he took his first punt return kind of at the 1 yard line, basically, I was thinking, oh man, is he going to try to do the fair catch and just get it back to the 25 yard? Because that's kind of one of the new rules now for punt returns and kickoff returns, I should say. He didn't. He took it. And I was like, man, this guy might be able to find a way to be able to take this one to the house. What did he do the second punt? Took it to the house. And it was awesome to see that, watching it over again and how patient he was. And then he found a gap, went in the gap, had a couple guys miss him, couple little jukes, and gone. I mean, the guy is awesome. And on top of that, he did get a couple catches this game too on the offensive side. This guy could be an absolute weapon for us. He's got speed, and it shows on field. Special teams could be extremely special this year. I mean, J.K. Scott is one of the best kickers, in my opinion, for hang time. He has the ability to where they're not going to run the ball on us and get much of an opportunity to be able to gain any yards off a punt. Uh, with his type of leg, with his hang time that he does present, now we got a guy on the opposite side that's going to receive punts for us that could be a dangerous dude to be able to go out there and just take one to the house every now and then. So, you know, he was one of the top punt returner, kick returners in college football, and now we got him on our team. So it's exciting to see that we got a guy like that. A Dante Hall is what I always tend to say that he kind of reminds me of, or Devin Hester or whatnot. So we could really talk about special teams and how it could be very, very big for us. And it really showed in this last game too. So those are the 3 guys I wanted to speak on specifically for this game that are extremely high points. Now, I'm going to kind of point a little bit more towards some of the concerns. And in one thing I'm just going to say is, as a concern, Quentin Johnston with the drops. I mean, you know, one of his knocks that when he came out of the draft was his drop rate. I mean, he did not have a very good drop. I think it was in the 12th percentile range, where he basically had one of the worst in college footballs for dropped. And it showed in a couple of these. Now, I could say that back shoulder kind of deep throw from Easton Stick was possibly a little bit out of range and pretty tough to be able to go after that one. So I can't put really that blame completely on Quentin Johnston, but you know, it is kind of some things that he did have some easier catches that he did kind of lose his concentration on. So you'd hope that it's going to get a little bit better for him. He's going to start figuring things out a little bit more. Maybe it was just kind of early game jitters or whatnot. He did get a touchdown. Great to see. They kind of seemed like they brought him into that play specifically just for him to be able to get that touchdown and, you know, get him kind of a little bit more involved in the red zone. But Quentin Johnston, that's just a little bit of a concern, but we'll see kind of where it progresses as this postseason or preseason continues. Another concern was wrapping up tackles. I think that's kind of one thing that was lacking a little bit for the defense. I think we were missing a little bit more. Really need to be able to use a little bit more bear hug type, you know, tackles versus kind of arm tackles or whatnot. We need to be a little bit more stronger on that side. Taiwan Mullen seemed to be one of the guys that had a very, very solid tackle in this game. Seemed like once the guy caught the ball, he was on top of him. That was awesome to see. We do need to get a little bit better. Brandon Staley did talk about it in the post game. He said, hey, I think it looks a little bit better, but obviously it's going to continue to progress as a team. So Either which way, those are one of the two. And actually, I got a third one that I'm a little concerned. Maybe this is a little bit my opinion, but I know I chatted a little bit about it in our live. But personally, my opinion, I wouldn't mind seeing at least a series or two with our starters on field. So Justin Herbert, you got Austin Eckler, you got Everett, you got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, all those guys, even on defensive side of things. I mean, you could say with the defense, you could probably get away with it, but there's a couple things that I would say specifically for the offense that makes sense because we do have a new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. And just to say today, the Chiefs are playing, and Patrick Mahomes went out there and played, it was like 5 or 6 snaps or whatever. But in a quote that Patrick Mahomes talked about, he said, "Look, I'm glad I got a coach that allows me to go do that because I need to be able to have a couple of those reps just to be able to kind of get like kind of those jitters out per se." And it's good to see that a coach does trust him to be able to go out there and do the right thing, not put himself in a position to where he's going to get injured. So I'm just saying, I think that there's a level where you might want to throw it out there to be able to just have a couple snaps for our offense so they don't become too juiced up come week one, ready to go. I get it with the idea of the injuries and everything like that. 100% get it. But you know what? I think Justin Herbert's a guy you can kind of trust that he's going to do the right thing with his bodies. We'll see what happens. But that's just kind of something maybe I'm a little bit more opinionated on. I was hoping to be able to see a little bit more of our team out there just because new coaching, understand what Kellen Moore is like during game time situations versus practice. It kind of makes a big difference. I understand scrimmage games and everything are pretty critical and all that too. But I really think that there could be a little bit of need for that all around. So either which way, those are my last little thoughts about the Rams game. On to the Saints this week. Excited to be able to see this team continuously grow. Let me know if you guys have any other things that you might want to be concerned about or anything that I did not look at for our last thoughts for the Rams game. But really fun game to watch, guys. And I'm excited to see this continuously progress all around for this team. So exciting times ahead, guys. So once again, appreciate all your guys' support. Like and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Appreciate it, guys. Both bros. Let's go.